You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Michigan International Speedway, the ECR Cup Series is ready to get it on here at the house that Penske built. Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. We're making a special appearance tonight as myself, Dave Regal, alongside Matt Moniak. We're here to take you through all the action, of course, from start to finish right here in the ECR Cup Series, while we're in playoff mode, as we are every week right now in the ECR Series. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We want to welcome you in. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, because we'll be with you every step of the way. From the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, glad to have you in with us tonight. Matt, it's not often that we get to work together. In fact, I think this is our maiden voyage.
No, this would be our second one. When I first joined SRM, my maiden call was with you, actually.
Well, then, forgive me for forgetting, but obviously it was a night maybe not to remember necessarily. Who knows?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, here we are under qualifying conditions, but we're here at the house that Penske built, Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. Let's take a look right now at our current race conditions as qualifying is underway. 66 degrees in the stand. That makes for a track temperature of what looks like 69. It's very tiny on my screen. I can't see that one. But 2 miles around this D-shaped oval, and I'll tell you what, man, we're going to see some awesome action tonight.
With the track time being down at 69, I expect it to rise up, but I mean, these cars are going to stick to the track. You know, they shouldn't slide around too much. It's really going to put on a good show.
It certainly will. Speaking of putting on a good show, I mentioned in the open that, of course, it's playoff season. Let's take a look at those playoff standings and where we sit right now. Tay McDonald sits atop the pile here in the playoff bracket. Dwayne Furtick just behind him. Bradley Rivers, Adam Booten, Kyle Diaz, Tyler Burden, John Osborne, Doug Denise, Kent Mueller, Ryan McCall, Michael Carter, and Kane Lee. Those are your top 12 drivers coming into this playoff race tonight here at Michigan.
So as we take a look here, Tyler Burden had an issue last week with Tay McDonald and actually is facing a one-race suspension, which is going to actually dash his playoff hopes.
You know, that's what's awful. No matter what league you're in, no matter where you're working or racing, when somebody punts their entire season based on one or two small interactions with someone, that's disappointing not only for the fans but also for the driver himself.
Yeah, with the 6-race playoff, I mean, we're 3 races down and we have 3 races left to determine this championship. That's a costly mistake to make.
You know, the thing is, though, you run into that no matter where you're at. I mean, during the playoffs, tempers are going to run high. You know, sometimes tempers run high and fuses run short.
And that's just half the fun of playoff racing.
Yeah, and it's half the fun that we're going to have tonight here on Sim Racing Media. As we check in over here on the YouTube.com live chat, we want to encourage everybody to check in. Let us know who you're rooting for, what you're watching tonight here in the ECR Cup Series. Of course, I got to tell you, because it's not something that I generally get to do, I mean, this is something that, at least to me, is fun for the evening.
There's no pressure. I mean, up here in the booth, we just get to watch and enjoy our sights and sounds. You know, we're not having to fight that steering wheel and really take into consideration every single move that we make.
No, it's incredibly true. Right now, it looks like Tay McDonald was able to fight the steering wheel around here and go fast time as he laid down a 38.07, and Adam Booten must have done the same, but maybe he's off by about a thousandth of a second, as I can only see so much here on timing and scoring. But, I mean, you know, when you're in that thousandth of a second range, I'm expecting to see a lot out of McDonald and Booten.
I mean, from what? The pole all the way back to 10th is 0.2 of a second? If that, this is going to be a very tight field.
Yeah, tighter than a snare drum, especially when we look at some of these times where really from 1st to 19th, everybody is, that's literally less than 0.6 of a second for each of them. Six-tenth of a second of distance between 1st and 19th as there's about a minute and 12 seconds left here in qualifying as we get underway. Dave Regal and Matt Moniak with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth just outside the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Want to welcome everybody in from coast to coast and around the world as we get ready to rock and roll here in about 55 seconds. Drivers are going to be climbing in those windows, and we're going to see just what they're made of. You know, Michigan is one of those racetracks where it feels a little bit like a super speedway because you can hold that throttle open so long. But here, you know, at least getting out of turn 2 and coming down the back chute, that rear end of the car always seems to desperately want to lift off the ground.
Yes, and as we just talk about that now, we have a new pole sitter who waited until the last closing seconds to claim the pole with a 38.001. That's the 22 machine of Travis Gilbert.
So 001, he's separated by 700th of a second, and technically a little bit less. That's incredible, especially at a place like this where we're going to see some of these times cranked up like that. 100 laps the scheduled distance tonight as these drivers get ready to settle into the race car. I'm going to expect to see some of these drivers try to take that 100 laps and split that right in half and see if they can go 50 and 50.
With a 50-50 split, I'm not quite sure how many tires they get, but I think we'll see somebody try to really short pit this and flip their position.
Without a doubt. Speaking of positions, let's take a look at our starting grid as we get ready to roll here tonight at Michigan. Starting on the pole position, going to be Travis Gilbert. He's going to be up there in the double deuce and joined by Tay McDonald in the 29. In row number 2, going to be Adam Booten alongside of, there we go, Dylan Picklesheimer. He's going to be Picklesheimer tonight. Dwayne Furtick and Doug Denise going to be in row number 3, while row 4 is going to be Ryan McCall and Waylon Turner. Bradley Rivers and John Osborne sit in row number 5. That's your starting top 10, while Pete Walsh and Kane Lee start in row number 6. Row 7 going to feature Christopher Roth and Michael Carter, while Bob Roth and Kent Mueller going to be in row number 8. Row 9 is Kyle Diaz and Aaron Miller, while Marshall Harris is going to be starting shotgun on the field in 19th position in the number 32 machine. So it looks like it's going to be 19 cars scheduled to take the green flag tonight as the iRacing.com pace truck waits patiently now for Travis Gilbert and Tay McDonald to hop into the race trucks as we get ready to rock and roll here. Literally, our front row has not gotten in.
I think they want to embrace this moment just to kind of enjoy, where they qualified at.
Still waiting for that front row to hop into the race truck here. There's Travis Gilbert in his double deuce, and there's the 29 of Tay McDonald. Obviously, just a few more seconds for them as they now hop in. Now it looks like all 19 drivers have climbed into the race truck, into the race cars, and started those engines. As we sit here on pit road, getting ready to peel off, and here we are. As the iRacing.com pace truck lights are out, that means that we'll be getting ready to go green flag racing. Come on. There's Doug Denise finally deciding I guess maybe he wanted a special invitation. Watching all of these cars come off of pit road is always something that I enjoy. It's almost, the anticipation is building, the excitement is building, and for each of these drivers, this is a clean slate the moment that the green flag drops. But by the time the checkered flag drops, flies, we're going to see a lot more of a different, let's just say, field, assuming that bad things do happen at some point.
These guys are really going to have to be patient. I mean, there's 100 laps. We don't have any fast repairs. DQ limit's at 20x. So it's gonna be really important, as the track starts to heat up. Correct. No fast repairs. Well,
that will encourage drivers to drive safely. Sometimes I think that it takes a little bit away from the simulation when you do have those fast repairs enabled, because for starters, it encourages some of the less patient drivers to drive like lunatics out here. And second of all, it also winds up keeping those people back on track, and it causes more problems. If you have no fast repairs, you only have one shot to get it right.
Just like in real life in NASCAR, you only have one shot, so you have to make it count. Looks like we're going to have pace lights go off, and we will be going green this time by.
The iRacing.com pace truck bringing us onto the backstretch as we get ready to rock and roll. Travis Gilbert with control of the field as these drivers finally get themselves settled in here. Looks like I don't have a whole lot of control over the timing and scoring. I guess maybe I should have worked on that earlier in the day. But of course I was up at the Crayola Experience in Easton, Pennsylvania with the kids today, which that's a fun one. Really expecting a little bit more, especially as far as how to make a crayon.
Were you actually able to bring a box of crayons home?
Yeah, for like triple the price that you can get them at Walmart. The iRacing.com pace truck bringing us into turn number 4. One driver here with a little bit of a connection issue. As we roll out of turn number 4, the pace truck makes the hard left turn down pit road. That means, folks, that the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn, call a friend, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air. Let's rock and roll at Michigan.
Going into 1, we see Gilbert still holding the advantage as Tay McDonald's trying to work that high side and get that launch off as he moves towards the wall.
2 by 2, they come down the back chute. Let's try to widen things out here just a little bit. Watching Tay McDonald lead right now, the double deuce of Travis Gilbert, his front row roommate, if you will, as we go back out to the blimp view. They are double file most of the way through here. And all of a sudden, Tay McDonald able to start to run away from the rest of the field. While we drop back here, double file, and of course, at that very moment, we go behind the grandstand. Why not? Thanks, blimp.
Where we're going, you don't really need to see. Your running order currently Tay McDonald leads, Travis Gilbert, Dylan Picklesmeyer, Adam Boughton, and John Osborne, who's already moved up 5 spots.
2 laps in the books. They're starting to click them off nice and easy here as we take a quick peek at the 81. Check out this paint scheme here for John Osborne. I do like this thing. I like the Pepsi logo, the old school Pepsi logo, if you will. And of course, Food City on that right rear quarter panel. That car is looking something sharp, that's for sure, as Osborne works the 81 here. Check out fast time. That's Marshall Harris. Of course, you folks know him from the Racers Elite NextGen Cup Series on Thursday nights with yours truly in the broadcast booth. But Marshall Harris out of Aurora, Colorado, with full send racing tonight in the number 32 machine. He's got that Ford Mustang cranked up to crazy as he just laid down a 37.98.
The Fly is currently moved up 6 spots and he leads the field with the biggest mover award as of now. With him sitting, I believe it's 13, or I don't remember what his exact point standing is, but he has nothing to lose. He can go straight for the win tonight.
A little bit of a 4-car breakaway here at the front of this thing. McDonald, Gilbert, Picklesheimer, and Booten, they lead this piece as now Picklesheimer just laid down fast lap here. And we can see him pushing along the double deuce. Watch the 9 as now he slides out and around the 22 of Travis Gilbert. He almost makes it just that easy. The Lincolnton, North Carolina native Picklesheimer. See, I had it right the first time, and obviously he knows that enough people have had problems with this.
There is one notable that I'd like to bring up. At the beginning of the race, Waylon Turner in the 30 machine took an EO out. Now he finds himself running in the 10th position. So he's slowly moving his way back up through the field. I'm not sure if that was a penalty or what the reasoning behind that EOL was, but he's starting to bounce back from it already.
Adam Booten from Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, lays down a 37.73 second lap. He's a 5-time ECR Cup Series champion from 2018 to 2022. Looking to try to get it done tonight. Of course, we saw that earlier in our graphic. Let's see if he can rock and roll his way to the top as he runs right now in 4th position. He's chasing down Travis Gilbert, about 2/10 of a second separating those 2 drivers as we have the 5-car diamond rolling back here. Check out the 90 as all of a sudden the 32 becomes 3 wide and he's the meat. Nobody wants to be the meat in that sandwich as Marshall Harris has to hold on to it. And now watch the 30 of Waylon Turner.
I'm honestly surprised to see how aggressive everybody is working on lap 6.
You can't win it on lap 1. Maybe they think they can win it on lap 6 as wow. Watch the 8 car bump along the 90. That's Michael Carter and Ryan McCall. Good gravy.
I'm kind of surprised to see the second packs not working together more to establish that draft. Because if these guys all work together, they should be able to catch the top 4 without any issues.
Well, see, this is the kind of racetrack where you have to have your act together. As it looks like right now, there's about 1.3 seconds separating Booten from Osborne. Here's Osborne in the 81 leading the second group now with Dwayne Furtick just behind him. I spent some time on the racetrack with Dwayne Furtick. He's a skilled driver, and I'll tell you what, somebody who's not going to give up. We're going to see him trying to make that charge toward the front later in this race as we look at the 9-piece of Dylan Picklesheimer. He's now chasing down Tay McDonald as we come down the back chute. Getting ready to go side by side is the 22, getting ready to haul it right underneath.
As we look at our top 4, we have 2 playoff drivers. Tay McDonald, who currently leads the points in this race as we watch. They go, or now they're 3 wide. And then you have Adam Boughton, who's currently sitting 4th in the standings, minus 22 points, and he's currently running 4th.
3 wide, the 22 of Travis Gilbert, the meat in that sandwich. He's still being timed as the leader, but now on the outside is the 29 of Tay McDonald. The 22 slides behind the 29 as we haul down the back chute into turn number 3. None of these drivers willing to give up early, that's for sure, as we're 9 laps in, making good time tonight as we start to rocket out of turn number 4.
McDonald hasn't wasted any time. You know, he grabbed that lead in lap 1 and he hasn't given it up at all. It's going to be interesting to see if Furtick, Lee, McCall, some of our other playoff drivers, see when they really go to throw the thing into high gear or if they're playing the save game early.
I feel like Furtick is some type of a disease. You got to be careful if it's Furtick. Because if you say Furtick, it sounds like nasty.
I've got nothing to that. I'm speechless.
And that's what I'm here for. You asked for it, and I'm sorry. Tay McDonald now leading the race. He's got the 29 Echo machine up here just ahead of Dylan Picklesheimer. Side by side goes Picklesheimer and Gilbert.
Picklesheimer definitely had the run on that one on the outside. See if he can pick up the draft of McDonald and rocket past him on the high side here.
We're going to go on board here with the 29 because I'll tell you what, watching what's going on out the rear end is something special. Here's the 29. Let's look at this side-by-side action that we have coming through the quad oval. And as we come into turn number 1, they are still neck and neck. The 22 with a little bit of an edge right now over Picklesheimer.
If I'm Boughton, I'm watching the way Picklesheimer and Gilbert are racing. I'm not sure if I would want to be that close. I think either I would want to try to get in front of them or hang back a little bit further because these guys are leaning on each other this early.
They're getting closer and closer. We're going to take a run back here and look at Aaron Miller as I just heard some action going on around him. Let's take a look at the Wendy's number 10 Chevrolet Camaro as he now leads the 15 of Bradley Rivers. They go 3 wide in front of him. Let's go on board right now. And we can see here working lap number 13 is Aaron Miller. He's got the 8 car of Michael Carter to the high side, and all of a sudden, just in front of him is the 32 and the 90. I'm sorry, the 32 and the 30. My math was more like meth.
This is what I love about Michigan. You have so many different lanes you can run. And one lane may take over at the beginning of the race, but as iRacing sends out these updates with how the track will take temperature, what it does today will do something completely different next season. It's going to be entertaining to watch, that's for sure.
Entertaining is definitely one way to put it. We work lap number 14 of 100. Dave Regal and Matt Moniak with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We're just outside the city of Birmingham, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dwayne Furtick right now running in 6th position. He leads the second group of drivers as the 91 of Kane Lee gets in on the dance here. Looks like that is the Sprite Zero Toyota Camry. You know what? If I had to guess, I would assume the people who drive Toyota Camrys drink Sprite Zero.
Maybe even Coke Zero as we see a car through the grass.
That's interesting. A little bit of landscaping wouldn't kill anybody.
Dylan Picklesheimer is the one that was through the grass there in the number 9 machine.
Let's take a look back here at the replay and see what happened with Picklesheimer and why he went off track. As we see whether or not he made contact, it looks like that's going to be the case. Here's Picklesheimer coming out of 4-0. He got loose and came down into the 22. The 22 holds its position and bailing out of the... Wow!
Whoa!
Thank goodness that's a safer barrier. Ay vey.
Wow.
Tay McDonald and Adam Booton now, they run 1-2. Here they go. As the double deuce of Travis Gilbert runs in third, Dwayne Furtick in fourth, and Kane Lee, that's your top 5.
You know what they say? Cream rises to the top, and we're seeing that with the 29 and the 94. And actually, we're seeing Lee, Furtick, and McCall breaking into the top 5 now.
Dwayne Furtick must be back here, and look, there he is in all kinds of a battle. There's about 7 cars around him, and none of them are picking up any real estate right now, as we're just about a fifth of the way through this race. Near contact here with the 81 and the 91 now. The 91 trying to get up and around the 22 of Travis Gilbert, who just started on the pole position. Tay McDonald leading this piece after starting on the outside pole, and Adam Booton started in third, and they are both up a spot. Kane Lee, though, in the 91 up 9 positions, while your big mover of the race right now is Marshall Harris.
The fly keeps marching on. He might actually find himself in the top 5 here momentarily if he keeps this run up. Waylon Turner up to 7th.
We want to thank our sponsor tonight, 10 Key Bookkeeping LLC and Chris Roth. We appreciate the support and, of course, the fact that without you, we wouldn't be here tonight. That's for sure, as we work 19 laps here, cleanly so far. Tay McDonald and Adam Booton, they're starting to run away from the rest of the field. 1.94 seconds between Booton and Kane Lee.
Kind of looking back through our standings here, Dylan Picklesheimer is now looking to be 2 laps down from that earlier contact with the 22 machine of Travis Gilbert.
And here they go, Ryan McCall and Travis Gilbert. They run right now side by side coming through the quad oval. Watch the 90. Nearly door handle to door handle, and then they go single file. They figured out that that wasn't going to end well for anybody, as literally the 10 and the 8 could almost wiggle each other's fingers through the window.
With the contact that 22 machine had, I'm not sure if it's the damage that's starting to slow him down or if it's the dirty air. But he's starting to fall like a rock. As we see the second pack starting to catch him, as we see contact between the 81 and the 32 machine of Harris.
Michael Carter right now running in 9th position. Here's the big mover, Marshall Harris, here in the 12 machine. "21 laps in the books. We're a fifth of the way through the race. As now we work here nearly 3 wide. The 4, near contact between the 40 and the 8. Michael Carter holds his own, and now the 40 of Doug Denise starts to tumble through the standings. A lot of playoff drivers and a lot of playoff implications at stake here, as Kyle Diaz, your last playoff driver here in line in the Fruity Pebbles number 26 Chevrolet Camaro. The only thing that's wrong with it, it's got a bow tie.
It could be worse. It could say Toyota on it.
Anytime Dodge wants to make a return to NASCAR, would be fine by me.
So what body, if Dodge does come back to NASCAR, what body are they going to go with? The Challenger or more something like the Charger?
I think they're going to go with Challenger, if they did. Ooh, a little bit of bump drafting here. Good Lord, the 90 giving everybody the business. That's Ryan McCall. I would like to see the Challenger. I'm sure it will be the Charger. And I'm positive it won't be for 2025, but we can always keep our fingers crossed for 26, and rumor has it Honda's ready to dip their toes into the NASCAR circuit.
That would be interesting. I'm all for, more manufacturers and more choices. But as we talk about choices here and the lane selections the guys are picking as they're going through the turns, I don't know about you, but I think we have about 15 more laps until we start seeing people hit the wall coming out of 2. Starting to see some guys already getting tight and pushing up.
You know, the thing is, the natural reaction when the car starts to break loose is to get off the throttle, and what that does is it makes these cars nearly weightless as they come through the turn. That diffuser at the rear end starts to basically lift off the ground. That's not really a good thing, but it's just simply a human reaction. You've got to be able to stay in the throttle as long as you can just to keep the rear end of these cars squatted down to the asphalt.
We're almost borderline 4 wide there, running about the 7th position. These guys are literally leaving it all on the track. They're starting to fall more single file as we watch Turner and Carter go side by side.
Side by side they go. Let's watch Furtick and Randall Turner. Now the 30 of Turner going to battle with Dwayne Furtick. Making contact. Oy.
Big save by the 30 machine.
And race radio lights up like a Polish church at Christmas.
That didn't take long as we're working 3 wide. Osborne was on the lucky side of that one as he was able to pass 2 cars through that turn there. So we see Harris, Turner, and I believe Miller 3 wide briefly.
It's going to be one of those kind of nights where we start to see battles like this erupt with little to no warning as we take a little bit of a closer look back here to Doug Denise as he's trying to chase down Marshall Harris. Now we can see the 40 starting to creep in here on the 32 of Marshall Harris. And Harris able to keep him off his rear bumper for the time being. But let's take a look as we go on board here. The Aurora, Colorado native holding off the 40 of Doug Denise.
So pit stops actually have started. The number 5 of Kent Mueller and the number 90 of Ryan McCall have both hit pit road.
It's definitely an interesting call if you ask me. Even though you didn't, I'll just give you my opinion. 2 seconds separate Adam Booten from Kane Lee. This is going to start to get interesting.
Can't count out Michael Carter there in the number 8 machine as we see Travis Gilbert working underneath him. Ooh, Travis Gilbert pushes up on Furtick.
Now, to your point, Ryan McCall and Kent Mueller just came down pit road for 4 tires to attack a go fast. That's going to be an interesting call. Looks like Pete Walsh is about 8 laps down, and he came in on lap 5. I don't get that.
I'm almost wondering, because his pit time was, just over 4 minutes. Did he miss the grid?
He very well may have. As we take a look here, Kane Lee running in the 91. Tay McDonald still leads this race just ahead of Adam Booten as they're separated by about 0.2 of a second, but now more than 2 seconds separating Kane Lee from Adam Booten.
So let's go back and start talking about our playoff standings again. McDonald, who's running in the number 1 position currently, is also your point leader. Dwayne Furtick, who's currently in 6th. He's 2nd in your points. Bradley Rivers is 3rd in the point standings. He finds himself running 13th. Adam Booten, currently running P2. In the standings, he's P4. Then, of course, Diaz and Osborne are going to be your top 6 overall. With this playoff system, these guys are running, their points just continue week after week. There's no reset for the final 4. These guys are running an older style format, so every single point counts of the entire playoffs, as we're going to have 2 races after this one to determine the championship.
The 22, here comes the 91 getting ready to come down pit road, the 29 as well. So we're going to start to see this this green flag cycle of pit stops pick up here as we're 31 laps through this piece. Dave Regal and Matt Moniak with you in the Tony Trepass Memorial broadcast booth. The Allen Experience checking in from Fairbury, Illinois.
I believe Fairbury is running their last race of the season, if I remember right.
As
Good luck
far
to
as
the.
I'm aware, here they come en masse down pit road on lap 32. That's going to leave Furtick, Osborne, Denise, and Roth atop the pile.
Wonder how many laps these guys can actually run, as we're seeing a battle for the lead here. As it looks like Osborne is fighting Furtick. Wait, my apologies. Actually, it's McCall fighting for his lap back.
Dwayne Furtick and John Osborne holding things down, but here they come. And here comes Roth as well. So green flag pit stops will be completed this time by.
Looks like we're going to cycle back out to Tate McDonald and Adam Booten holding the top two spots with Ryan McCall running P3. Actually, that may have been a big call from McCall.
A big call from McCall? That's where we're going?
That it is.
It's going to be McDonald, McCall, a pair of Big Macs, and Adam Booten going to be atop the pile as they come through the quad oval, and here they are. And then it was 19. I lied, 17.
That short pit really played a difference for Ryan there.
I'm just glad we didn't have anybody come out and immediately get bit by the cold tire bug.
You know what they say about the broadcaster's curse?
Yeah, I might have just jinxed it. Marshall Harris now getting ready to lock himself into a battle right now. There's the 32 and here's the 26. As it looks like Diaz is trying to gain on the 32, and right now Harris is just having none of it.
In the early stages of this race, it just seems like the top going down the back and the front stretch are your preferred line, and then about 3 lanes up and running almost like what I like to call a slider line to finish up by the wall. Seems like the dominant line as of now.
For the time being, yes, but we have a new race leader, and it's going to be Ryan McCall here in the 90 as he's being shoved across the start-finish line by the 94 of Adam Booten. And they're about to try to leave Tay McDonald in the dust.
These guys really need McDonald to have a bad race. They have, as we see contact between McDonald and McCall.
The 29 of Tay McDonald, the 90 of Ryan McCall. Here comes the 94 looking to the inside. 35 laps in the books. We're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal. He's Matt Moniak, and this is the ECR Cup Series.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn one.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does! Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. Thank everybody for joining in with us tonight as we take a quick peek here at our top 5. Tay McDonald leads the way. He's followed by Adam Booton, Travis Gilbert, Ryan McCall, and Kane Lee. That is your top 5. They've all gotten themselves all linked up together. Dave Regal and Matt Moniak with you here in the Tony Trapasman broadcast booth. 42 laps in the books. Matt, don't look now, but we're nearly halfway through this piece.
Yeah, these guys have been hard charging throughout this entire race. You know, I think there's a strategy call that we may have missed here by the 22 machine of Travis Gilbert.
Patience?
His pit strategy was a 12.83 second stop, so he may have only taken right side tires and fuel.
That will
whereas everybody else was... Oh, yeah. That's going to be an interesting one to watch if that actually helps him to keep lower, or if he's going to end up losing ground as the run goes on.
Well, depending on this left side tire wear, it may not affect it too drastically, at least early on here. As we take a look back here, let's look at Ryan McCall and go on board with him if we can. Out of Bear, Delaware is Ryan McCall. He's now going to draft up just behind Kane Lee. We can hear him staying in 5th gear. So right now he doesn't need a whole lot of help to get out of turn exit. He's got good rotation through it all.
In the draft, these guys are actually able to hit 200 down the backstretch here as the 8 machine's wrecking, nose first on the wall.
See it happening.
Somehow we managed to stay green.
Let's see if we can go back here and take a quick steal a quick. Oh my! The odd thing is that he stayed pointed forward just enough that it doesn't bring out the caution. That's good for us, bad for him.
I think McCall got the worst of that one. If you look at that front end, McCall, his front end smashed in pretty good.
46 laps in the books.
Travis Gilbert's trying to make a move to the inside of the 94 machine of Adam Booton as they go to work against Tay McDonald on the 29.
Watch McDonald in the 29 trying to hold off Booton in the 94. The question is, does Booton have enough patience to stay back here for a little bit longer as he now sees in the rearview mirror the double deuce of Travis Gilbert starting to creep in? Let's go on board here to the gearbox. We can see right out the rear bumper, and he is going to have to hold on for dear life because all over his rearview mirror, that's the 91 K1.
I think if I'm Gilbert, I think Lee's a friend at this point. Lee's going to try to work with Gilbert to try to get up to the leader. As I stand corrected.
We widen things back out, and now side by side going into turn 1. is the 91 and the 22. The Vet to Track Double Deuce holding on right now for the time being to third position.
They play a dangerous battle with a little bit of a door bump, as we've seen earlier in the race with Gilbert and I believe it was the number 9 and Dylan Pigglesheimer. They had issues early with door bumping.
Yeah, I believe the term is door bumper clear, not door bumper bump.
Well, if you never clear, you never have to worry about it. As we see Chris Roth, I believe, or I can't figure who that out, or I can't figure who's out on that apron there. Oh, that's Dylan Picklesheimer merging back on.
Michael Carter just jumped to the pits. Let's see what happened with him. As we take a look here, let's watch the 8. He comes down toward pit road. And he locks him up right at the entrance to pit road and toes. I don't understand that call.
Suspension damage. His wheel was turned to the left there. It was pretty beat up.
He probably could have driven the extra 50 feet, but to each their own. 50 laps in the books. We've hit the half-century mark, and that means that we are also halfway. They're making hella time.
You know, we haven't talked much about Aaron Miller in that 10 machine today. He's sitting there fighting for a top 5. Kyle Diaz, Aaron Miller, and Marshall Harris are all up plus 12.
Trying to take a look here and see what happened at Talladega today. As it looks like Sammy Smith brought home the Xfinity checkered flag. And this is useful. Thanks, NASCAR.com. There we go. Just looking to see if... there we go. Parker Retzlaff. Oh, he was involved in an accident. Parker Retzlaff, of course, running in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action right here on Sim Racing Media. You can hang out with me every Monday night as we will be at my favorite racetrack this week, Talladega Super Speedway, 2.66 miles down in Lincoln, Alabama. And I'm telling you right now, there was a time, especially when I was a kid growing up, that the 8 car, you know, the number 8 Bud car, almost always had a chance in those races, especially during the DEI days.
With Waltrip and Earnhardt, you know, well, both Earnhardts at that time, you know, that was an untouchable trio.
It was an incredible time, and I mean, you know, before they brought Mikey on in 2001, you know, they of course had Steve Park driving the one machine, and that was an impressive run as well. But, you know, Dale Jr., there was a period where he had 4 races back to back at Talladega that he brought home the checkered flag for, and that record still stands in NASCAR history. But Parker Retzlaff, who drives in the real-life Xfinity Series, gets involved. Let's see. And it doesn't say what happened. That's a shame. And he's a cool dude, too. I like hanging out with him.
It's always a fun time when he's up in the booth.
Unfortunately, I was talking to Parker a couple of weeks ago. I will not get a chance to see him down in Miami. He will not be racing that race. Go figure. The one
can't win them all.
Get to this season. Tay McDonald still running here as we are now past the halfway point. Lap number 54 written down.
Oh, the number 1 of Sam Mayer was disqualified after the Xfinity race at post-race inspection. Looks like we have pit stop starting right back up again. I think Booten here is going to try to short pit him.
That's going to be an interesting choice. He's going to have to stay out for a very long time. Booton drops down pit road. Let's see what he does, as we'll go on board with him for this pit stop. Adam Booton now running in 12th position.
And really, the fall off isn't that bad. I mean, you're looking at, from best times, about a second, maybe a second and a quarter.
He's getting all 4 tires. So the Susquehanna, Pennsylvania native, the 5-time ECR Cup Series champion from 2018 to 2022, gets 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast, and off we are.
He didn't waste any time on that pit stop.
No, obviously that pit crew was waiting for him patiently. They already had everything figured out to what they were going to do. Sometimes that's just the magic of the sim itself, not to be confused with sim magic. As Booton is going to cycle to be what will be the lucky dog. Tay McDonald still leads this race with Kane Lee in tow, and Kane Lee still trying to hold off Travis Gilbert here in the 22, as it looks like maybe a little bit further up here. There's the 90. And here's the 9 of Dylan Picklesheimer chasing down the 91 of Kane Lee. Picklesheimer down a couple of laps for the time being, down just 1 lap, that is. Let's assume 1 lap. It is. Nope, 3. Just kidding.
And I just noticed this, but Marshall Harris is down several laps as well.
Yeah, Marshall Harris actually not on the racetrack at all anymore. He has decided to beat everybody to the beer stand. He and Michael Carter are waiting, holding pitchers. The Craftsman Truck Series also was at Talladega. Sammy Smith won that one as well. I don't think Smith is going to be running in... Oh, dear.
And Smith, I believe he's still Xfinity next year, correct?
Yes. There's a ride for next year. I know that it's in Xfinity. And of course now nothing wants to work.
We take a look back at our leader. Tay McDonald still leads us, and then Kane Lee in second, Travis Gilbert third.
Here we go, the Truck Series. Grant Enfinger, which I got a chance to call him when he was racing once upon a time in Checkers Records. What a cool dude he is, by the way. As Tay McDonald in the 29 starts to really gap Kane Lee by about a quarter of a second, but it looks like Grant Enfinger in the 9 machine, he came across the line first last night. Earlier today, that is. Sorry. Rajat Khalif finishes 4th. Lawless Allen finishes 5th. Ryan Reed in 7th. Some really big names that are starting to make some hay in the NASCAR family of racing series.
I love seeing Enfinger make the playoffs and, of course, picking up that win. Enfinger is really fun to race around. I've been privileged enough to race with him, Dale Jr., TJ Majors, some of those guys, and you learn a lot from them, but they're pretty down to earth.
Name drop much?
No, there's still a lot more.
Looks like Michael McDowell is going to roll off on the pole tomorrow at Talladega. I personally can't wait to watch the green flag fly for the Yellowwood 500. I was also excited to see Dale Jr. get the top 10 finish at Bristol Motor Speedway last week. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, after the race, he's wanting to hand everybody a beer and sit down and tell stories on the hood of his car. That's what racing was all about back in the day, and to see him try to bring that back, pretty cool.
Here's the thing. I mean, as a kid growing up watching Dale Jr., I was always just enamored with the fact that he was my favorite driver. But, then as I became an adult and I started to really pay attention to what he does off the track, he knows how much weight is on his shoulders as a NASCAR driver, as a Hall of Famer, You know, and something that I picked up from David Baker, who's the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. David Baker said to, oh crap, who's the guy from Pittsburgh? Who's the coach from Pittsburgh? He sits on CBS pregame.
Tomlin?
There we go. No, not Tomlin, the white guy.
Bradshaw?
No. CBS.
Oh,
I can't.
I'm
mustache
blank.
guy. I can't think of the guy with the mustache. With the mustache on CBS. He coached the Steelers for a few years, picked up a Super Bowl victory, but he lost to the Cowboys in '95. You know, it's going to kill him. Bill Cowher. Jesus.
We're way off.
Way off. Anyway, when David Baker announced to Bill Cowher that he was going to be elected, that he was going to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he said he wanted to thank him for everything that he's done for the sport and everything that he will do. Because when you become a Hall of Famer, not only are you your very own exhibit in the Hall of Fame, but you're also somebody who's responsible for curating the history of that sport. And I think that that's something that Dale Jr. does better than just about anybody in NASCAR. He understands that there are just a few family names in NASCAR that are more important than anything. Petty, of course, you know, Earnhardt, Waltrip, and those guys know what kind of responsibility that they have to the sport as we turn lap number 66, 2/3 of the way through, and doing great so far. This is going to be a quick one, that's for sure. But you know, I think what Dale Jr. does as far as fan engagement and things like that, and making sure that people understand, hey, listen, we're going to throw it all the way back, grab a case of beer, sit on the hood of the car, and talk racing for the evening, sitting under the lights at Bristol, of all places, Bristol. That is just, that's next level thinking. That's bringing another generation of drivers and fans together. And I also think that NASCAR does a better job than any other sport with fan engagement. You know, last year at Miami, at the Miami race down at Homestead, I walked into the bathroom, and there's Josh Berry, you know, with his fire suit half rolled down, taking a look at the room. You know, there is no border between fan and driver. Jonathan Leach and I had a chance to creep on down pit road and try to get Dale Jr.'s autograph, which would have been amazing. And I was the next person in line, and the guy in front of me, you know, was standing there, and just as the PR guy said, okay, you know, we're about to have pre-race invocation, everybody chill out, the guy in front of me reaches this dirty old Wrangler hat out, and it was a blue and yellow Wrangler hat from back in the day. And he goes, hey, Dale, this is my daily driver. Dale Jr. took one look at this dude's hat, and of course I'm standing there like an idiot. And he looked at the hat, and you could see that he had an emotional connection to that blue and yellow car. And next thing you know, he looks at the PR guy, grabs a marker from him, and says, give me that, and goes and signs this guy's hat. And you know what? To me, as a fan, that was better than having him sign my own, BS.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, when you see that connection between that sponsor and all the memories that brings, you know, and I'm going to say something very controversial here, and I'm sorry to anybody I upset, but honestly, I think Dale, you know, Jr. has been a better team owner than he ever was a driver. He's made more of a difference, I think, since stepping out of that car. You know, this is obviously post-2001. You know, I'm talking more current. But the amount of difference that he's made as a team owner and making a difference in some of these drivers coming up and all the drivers that actually do want to race for him, I think that's really going to cement his legacy.
Yeah, you know what? I agree wholeheartedly with you. Dale Jr., since becoming a full-time owner instead of having this little side project, you know, I mean, he understands how important the Xfinity Series is. And essentially the Xfinity Series is the Grand National Series, which everybody once upon a time wanted to be in. And I think he understands that his job as far as a team owner in the Xfinity, I almost said the Busch Series. Wow. I think he understands his responsibility in the Xfinity Series better than almost anyone. He doesn't look at that as a minor league. He looks at that as a feeder league, and or a feeder series, if you will. And of course, all of the drivers that came through Junior Motorsports wind up with great contracts with great teams, and turning out championships. I mean, they used to talk about the Bill Belichick coaching tree in the NFL, and right now, if you look at the driver tree for Dale Jr., it is extensive.
That it is. And even his late model program. Some of your higher ranked drivers are dropping in the late models just for extra seat time. But let's go and do a field rundown here as 94 of Booten still leads our field over Kyle Diaz, who's up 15 spots, and Aaron Miller in the top 3.
I just looked at the wrong thing. Drivers have driven for Junior Motorsports, including the following: Chase Elliott, and of course he won the Xfinity Series title in 2014, then went on to win a Cup Series championship. Sammy Smith currently, Connor Zilisch, Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Carson Kvapil, Caden Honeycutt, and Brian LaPrade. Those names we're going to see for years to come in NASCAR. And right now, NASCAR is kind of in what I would refer to as a growing pain. We all got very used to seeing the same names and drivers out on the racetrack for, let's just say, for argument's sake, 20 years. And I really think that the retirement of Kevin Harvick signaled the end of that era. I think Jeff Gordon kind of signaled the end of the 90s, and I think Kevin Harvick retiring signaled the end of the 2000s.
And there's one name that you mentioned in there. I believe he's on loan, and that'd be Connor Zilisch. I believe, isn't he a, I'm forgetting, Justin Marks driver?
Yes.
That man knows how to find a driver.
He definitely has found more ways to find drivers than anybody else in the sport. Here comes the 30 hot. I don't know if he got down to pit lane speed.
Oh.
Nope. He just towed. That would be the end for the 30. That leaves just 13 drivers on the lead lap. It's going to be Adam Booten, Kane Lee, Kyle Diaz, Tate McDonald, and Aaron Miller. That's your top 5. And sliding into the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth right now is a surprise to me because I can't see who it is yet.
It is Mr. Alan Bergen.
Alan Bergen on assignment at Dirt Track Land with 25 laps to go here at Michigan. Alan, welcome in. I'm guessing he's just listening to us to make sure that we're doing our jobs.
Hello.
Alan, we can barely hear you. Your audio quality is just this side of awful.
Yeah, I'm just checking in from the racetrack.
Well, you're not here at Michigan. Tell us where you are.
I am in Fairbury, Illinois for Falls Frenzy. If you're watching the YouTube.com live stream, this is the last race of the season here, and they're going to crown a Mars Series Dirt Late Model Championship and Mars Series Modified Championship.
Folks, if you couldn't understand him, he's at the Fairbury Dirt Track, and I'll tell you what, Alan loves him some dirt racing, and I am so excited that iRacing is finally grasping this. And again, I think that this comes down to certain drivers or certain team owners that have really started to embrace the grassroots effort and take racing back to its roots.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, nonetheless, we're getting ready for 50 laps of dirt late model racing here just in a moment's time. So we'll let you guys get back to finish this one off for ECR, and we'll see. Dave, I'll see you tomorrow on Sunday Night NASCAR.
Yep, Sunday night NASCAR tonight with tomorrow night with myself and Alan Burton on the call, as my normal work wife, Matt Metler, are going to be on track. A couple of weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to, well, actually, it's now about a month ago, 2 months ago almost, that I was fortunate enough to race in the Coke Zero 400 at Daytona International Speedway. And tomorrow night, while Matt Metler goes out racing, I will be drinking a Budweiser for the first time in my life and considering suicide at the same time.
Well, hey, you know, if you don't have a subscription to Flow, get one and watch this race because it's going to get cranked up to crazy.
All right, buddy. Have a good time tonight. Good luck.
Bye.
With that being said, Dave, you know, if you're ever feeling suicidal, there's 3 simple numbers for you to call, and that's 988.
Look at you with the transitional material. Proud of you.
That's why I'm here, just for something. As we're just coming to 20 to go here momentarily.
And with 21 laps to go, we're going to step aside for one final time tonight. I'm Dave Regal, he's Matt Moniak, and this is the ECR Cup Series.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. We're 17 laps to go. Robert and Christopher Roth lead this piece now as the 59 leads the 62. Robert Roth now taking over the race lead from Christopher. As for a little bit, Christopher was leading, and Christopher seems to have found speed up in that high line as Robert Roth now peels off to come down pit road. Christopher Roth with about 2 more laps of fuel on board with the 62. We were just talking off air that it's entirely possible that if he can hold on to this son of a gun, Christopher Roth may be able to pull one right out of his hat.
And looking at that, Dwayne Furtick pitted on lap 65, and then your next one after that would be Kyle Diaz on lap 78, who leads McDonald just outside the top 5.
16 laps to go now for Christopher Roth, Travis Gilbert, Dwayne Furtick, Doug Denise, and here comes Christopher Roth as Robert Roth already came down. That's going to lead Travis Gilbert out on track, and Gilbert, trying to keep the double deuce cranked up, is going to stay out there.
It's going to be interesting to see if he wants to just try to ride it and pray for a caution, or if he managed to actually save more fuel than the rest of the guys.
Hey, you know what they say, pray if you got him.
Yeah.
Just got a picture sent in from Alan Bergen. He is on the infield tonight. They just finished milling the dirt, and it just looks like fun.
Is he taking pictures today?
Yeah, he's playing photographer. And
that's the second best seat in the house.
I'll tell you what, Alan, he has a gift. I mean, like, some of the pictures that I saw him take at the last race that he was at were just the side of art, and I don't even know a whole lot about art. Alan insists that he's going to talk me into coming out to the Midwest to go to some dirt track. I'm like,
If you ever get a chance, come up to Marshalltown Speedway in Marshalltown, Iowa. The racing there is fantastic.
I call a league, or I used to call a league with somebody from Marshalltown. Or in that neck of the woods. I wish I could remember who the heck it was, but cripes, I couldn't even remember Hall of Fame Bill Cowan.
I believe we might have ourselves a battle for the lead here between Gilbert and Diaz.
Gilbert and Diaz all of a sudden breaking out. Look at the 26 go. Now, Gilbert came down. Oh, no, Gilbert's about to give up the ghost and come down pit road with double deuce. That's going to leave our race lead up to Kyle Diaz.
And it looks like we may have had King Lee crash, possibly here. Can't quite tell here. Gilbert just fell off pretty hard as well as Diaz walks away from him.
Gilbert's got to make a decision here. If you're already going to fall that many positions and you haven't been in since lap 63, it may be time to come. And I may be getting called to do real radio momentarily. What's the situation in North Carolina that I'm supposed to know about?
North Carolina's got a lot of flooding right now.
I know about the flooding. I thought that there was something else.
So there's some conspiracy theories that I'm not going to discuss over the air, but we could discuss behind closed doors. But if you get a chance, look up some of the things that the towns that were affected offer.
Checking that.
So they're sitting with 10 to go. We're being led by Kyle Diaz, Tay McDonald, Travis Gilbert, John Osborne, and Bradley Rivers as your top 5. Furtick, Miller, Denise, Mueller, and Robert Roth round out your top 10.
8 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Dave Regal and Matt Moniak with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we sit just outside the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Travis Gilbert and Doug Denise now down pit road. Here's Kyle Diaz, and he is our new race leader, and Diaz may have this thing locked up. He's 4.2 seconds ahead of Tay McDonald with 7 laps to go. McDonald's starting to close in by about 100th of a second per lap and then some.
If Diaz can...
At this pace, McDonald may be here to put a fight on at the very end, but Diaz may have control of this race.
If Diaz can pull this off, he's going to move up to 3rd in the point standings because Rivers is running P4, and then Adam Booten is actually on pit road and out of the race, who's currently sitting P4 in the standings with down 22 points. So Diaz will get to leapfrog. It's going to be interesting to see if Dwayne Furtick in the 51 machine, who's currently running P6, will have enough fuel to make the ending of this race. Last came in on lap 65, but his last lap was a 41.51. So I think he's really backed it off, just trying to make it to the end here.
Five laps to go. Kyle Diaz in control, and it looks like McDonald doesn't have enough. He's 3.8 seconds back with 5 to go, and I think he's going to be about a lap shy of being able to overtake Diaz. And I'm just looking at the closing speed here. He's kind of plateauing right now at 3.75 seconds.
Yeah, I'm seeing Diaz get up to about 185, maybe 190. Not really pushing it, just kind of taking his time getting around the track. Our next closest battle is going to be Osborne and Rivers for P3 and 4. They're about 2/10 apart.
And here it is, and of course this is the difference between podium and not. As we can see Diaz working his way through turns 1 and 2 and now heading down the back chute. It looks like Rivers is about just a little bit more than 1/10 of a second here behind the 81 of Osborne. Osborne has the 81 cranked down to crazy, and you can see the rear end of that car squatting to the asphalt. Diaz now gapped just about 3.6 seconds to McDonald. That's pretty much settled away. And as he crosses the start-finish line, the popsicle sticks go in the air with 2 laps to go.
Only 2 laps left to decide this race. Tay McDonald still 3.5 seconds behind our leader, Kyle Diaz. As we work off of turn 2 here, we're going to watch Osborne and Rivers still continue to battle as we're going to watch this race go caution-free.
This race will go caution-free as Kyle Diaz comes out of turn number 4, heading back to the start-finish line. The popsicle sticks go down, the white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Bradley Rivers and John Osborne locked in a dead heat here for 3rd position. This will determine how that podium looks as we come behind the grandstand. The 15 of Rivers looking for a way to get around. He dives underneath coming into turn number 1. He's saved just enough for this moment. Does he have enough for the 81 of John Osborne? Is Osborne able to run away? He's only going to have one more opportunity as they haul it down the backstretch. Kyle Diaz getting ready to cross the start-finish line. He's going to win this race with relative ease. Tay McDonald 2.25 seconds behind. John Osborne trying to hold off the 15, and one more time, let's watch Rivers come after it. We go up here in the blimp cam. down the front stretch, and here they go. Is it going to be the 15 or the 81? Good God, it's the 15 by a nose over John Osborne.
Wow. That's a finish.
Slow this down, something fierce. In fact, we're going to go right back here. We're going to go right back to, my God. Let's see if I can find this.
While we're doing that, we're going to give a full field rundown here. Diaz, McDonald, Rivers, Osborne, Miller, top 5.
Look at the 15. I mean, that is by thousandth of a second.
And did it clean as well.
Doing it clean is half the battle. Oh, what a great finish for the 15. What a great move for the 15. Kyle Diaz, though, the story of this race, of course, we don't want to take away from him. He's our race winner up here driving the number 26 machine. And he is going to burn it down in the front stretch.
Diaz definitely earned that one. You know,
He's earned every bit of that smoke.
That Fruity Pebbles car is making me hungry, I'll tell you what. Well, let's go ahead and roll pull Bradley Rivers up into the booth here. Bradley Rivers, this is Matthew Moniak up in the booth. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
So as a playoff driver, what was your strategy coming into tonight?
Well, definitely get a top 5 at least was my goal, from the start, and keep clean and just have a good smooth race. And I had a feeling it was going to go green, and me and my teammates would come up with a good strategy, and it worked out good.
It was definitely interesting to watch the ups and downs of your race as you methodically work through the field here. As we're kind of roughly guessing at the points, obviously McDonald's going to still hold the points lead. You closed a little bit of a gap on Furtick, and then you pulled away from Booten, but you're still going to have to fight with Diaz. I believe you guys are going to be tied for that 3rd or 4th position. As we go in... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, my whole goal is to obviously win it, but, to get a big jump in the points. But as long as I'm still up here competing with these guys and have a chance at it still, I'm doing all right.
So with 2 races left of the chase, what's your strategy moving forward? And to close it out, do you have anybody you want to thank, give a shout out to, all that fun stuff?
What do we got? Just looking at the schedule, we got Kentucky. I'm not really sure how I favorite Kentucky. I might have to do some practice this week and fine-tune the setup, and hopefully we can come out with the same outcome or even better with the win, so put us even closer to that title. So I'm just going to try my hardest, and give it my all and get all my help from my teammates and hopefully go get this.
Well, we wish you the best of luck going into next week and for the rest of your chase. We don't want to hold you too long. Go enjoy your podium position, and congrats.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You as well.
Of course, we want to thank Bradley for joining us tonight. Let's see if we can get a hold of Tay McDonald, who finished in 2nd position. Hey, and why can't I move him down here? There he goes. Hey, Tay, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Man, good. Creston, Iowa's going to be proud of you tonight. I thought you might have had enough to try to get up here and really challenge Diaz for the lead, but, we were talking during the race that you were probably going to fall about a lap shy of being able to really put the pressure onto Diaz.
Yeah, Kyle's an awesome racer, so I knew I really had to try to push to get to him. I think I was almost 5 seconds behind him. I know that we both took 2 tires there at the end, but I think he pit a couple laps earlier than I did, and that made the difference. Or maybe I didn't execute on pit road as well as he did. But yeah, again, hats off to him. Congratulations to Kyle. I'm glad that we kept it clean after a better finish last week. So I really needed this. So tons of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to watch this one. I mean, especially going caution-free from flag to flag. I mean, that's got to be some kind of a record.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it seems like these guys do it every week almost. But I was hoping, for at least one caution there, so it didn't really mix up the strategies. So, but it did, and we had to pit at the end, and there were some guys saving, some guys that were good. So it was interesting at the end. But again, a lot of fun, and congrats to the 26.
Without a doubt. Well, listen, before we cut you loose tonight, who helped you get it done on the 29, and who do you need to tip your cap to?
Guys over at GWR, Travis Gilbert, Waylon, Rob, Chris. Want to thank you guys at Sim Racing Media for putting on the broadcast, the admins in the league, for stepping in when they need to, making things right, and just just a good league to be a part of, and a good group of guys to race with. So I want to thank them and thank my grandma for watching every week. It's a lot of fun doing these every Saturday.
All right, brother. Well, listen, congratulations, and we'll see you next week. Well, to be fair, you won't see me next week, but I do appreciate the show, and they will see you next week. Good luck, brother.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Matt, I believe you have with you right now race winner Kyle Diaz.
Kyle, listen, man.
Guys.
Doing all right. You put on one heck of a show there at the end. What was your key to winning tonight?
Yeah, my key to winning was just a really good time. 2-tire pit stop right there in the end. But it was no easy race up to that point because I started in the rear of the field, and at one point I was the last car, so really happy to pull this one off tonight here in Michigan.
Watch you drive through the field and really, make yourself known at the end of the race. It was entertaining to watch. As we look at the point standings, I believe you're going to be fighting right at third or fourth with Mr. Bradley Rivers there. What's your steps in trying to approach the next 2 weeks as you go for this championship?
Yeah, Kentucky, I'm going to need to put in some practice there because it's 1.5 miles, but I don't have too much practice there. So hopefully I can do well there. And Charlotte, I may miss. I don't know because I'm going to the NASCAR race at Vegas, but hopefully I can make it there. But just happy with the performance overall tonight and just happy the way things played out.
Well, we don't want to hold you here. We hope you can make Charlotte. I would love to see you fight for this championship, but congrats on the win tonight. And do you have anybody in the stands that was watching you tonight?
No, I don't think so, but just shout out as always to my parents. Shout out to you guys, the broadcasters, everybody in the league. Just really good racing that we have here in this league in ECR, and just have a fun time with it, and I hope you guys have a fun time watching it too.
It was definitely a privilege to watch this race.
Yeah, thank you guys, and just proud to get this win here, and hopefully put me in a good spot to finish top 3 in the standings, hopefully.
Well, definitely good luck, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
All right, appreciate it. See you guys later.
Well, Matt, another one in the books here in the ECR Cup Series. And before we get out of here tonight, we want to take one final look at our results for the evening. Kyle Diaz brings home the checkered flag. He's joined on the podium by Tay McDonald and Bradley Rivers. John Osborne and Aaron Miller round out your top 5, while Kent Mueller, Robert Roth, Christopher Roth, Dwayne Furtick, and Travis Gilbert make up your top 10. Doug Denise, Ryan McCall, Dylan Picklesheimer, Pete Walsh, Kane Lee, Adam Booton, Waylon Turner, Marshall Harris, and Michael Carter make up the rest of the field. And unfortunately, somebody had to do it, but tonight it had to be Michael Carter bringing the 8-car home in dead last. And unfortunately, that's the way the ball bounces proverbially. But it's still been a great race. It's been a lot of fun to sit here up in the broadcast booth with you tonight. As we get ready to head into another week, we want to remind everybody to tune in tomorrow night to Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series action. We'll be live from Talladega Super Speedway. And, of course, you can tune in to Sim Racing Media all week long. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so that you can be notified every time we go live right here on SRM. So for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Matt Moniak, we want to thank you once again for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please Don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.